Are you wondering how writers had an impact on the Renaissance?
Or how they had an impact on our world today? Well, we're here to tell you.
The three writers we'll be talking about are Giovanni Boccaccio, William Shakespeare, and Niccolo Machiavelli.
Did you know that Niccolo Machiavelli introduced many political ideas about how to get in power and maintain your rule? Machiavelli's ideas had a profound impact on political leaders of the modern West. During the first generations after Machiavelli, his main influences were in non-republican governments. He influenced such thinkers such as Thomas Hobbes, Francis Bacon, and Antonio Gramsci. The book was written as a practical guide to ruling and uses simple and straightforward descriptions in order to provide easily understandable advice. His influences were in Leonardo da Vinci, Livy, and Cicero. Machiavelli's political writings became more widely known in the 16th century. Niccolo wrote a book, The Prince, about politics and power, and it had a big impact on the world. Successful leaders such as Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, and American presidents John Adams and Bill Clinton have studied, followed, or made reference to the book while in power.
One of Giovanni's books has influenced many great authors and poets. The book Decameron has influenced Europe for the longest time. It influenced writers such as Shakespeare and Chaucer. They are known to have borrowed this piece of work. Poets such as George Eliot, Tennyson Keats, Longfellow, and Swinburne also have poems influenced by his book. Boccaccio was influenced by the writings of Dante. He wrote a biography about Dante as well as writing essays and lectures about the author. Boccaccio's work was first translated into English in 1620, and his influence extended to many authors throughout the Romantic period. Boccaccio was a man of the Renaissance in almost every sense. His humanism comprised not only classical studies and the attempt to rediscover and reinterpret ancient texts, but also the attempt to raise literature and modern languages to the level of the classical by setting standards for it and then conforming to those standards. One of the first writers in the early Renaissance, Giovanni Boccaccio, a Florentine, who is most noted for writing the Decameron, a series of 100 stories set in Florence during the Black Death that struck in the city in 1348. Boccaccio explores in these stories the traditions and viewpoints of various social classes greatly based on actual observation and study.
Shakespeare influenced every generation after he died and continues to have an enormous impact on contemporary plays, movies, and poems. Shakespeare's work has made a lasting impression on later theater and literature. Shakespeare influenced writers such as Thomas Hardy, William Faulkner, and Charles Dickens. William's use of language helped shape modern English. Shakespeare's influence on the Renaissance culture was not a simple matter of incorporating works written in foreign languages and times past into his present. Shakespeare imbued some of his characters with a distinctly medieval way of reasoning.
This is
how our writers
had an impact on the Renaissance.
I hope this helped you.
Yeah. Bye.